everyone. Welcome to Weekly Talk, the Cavite Mutiny 1872. I'm your host, Maureen Ann Itogo, and today we have two eager participants ready to delve into this pivotal moment in history. Without further ado, let's get started.
Magandang buhay Pilipinas, si Juliana Arnado, a Filipina living in Cavite who witnessed the determination of our people as they sought to break free from the chains of oppression.
Buenos dias, Vanessa May Irogero, a Spanish woman living in Cavite, torn between my loyalty to Spain, my empathy of the grievances of the Filipino people.
The Cavite Mutiny holds a special place in our collective memories, as it represents a turning point in the struggle for freedom and self-determination. It was a time when the voices of the oppressed were amplified, and the quest for justice ignited the flames of revolution. So now let's hear from the view of Miss Juliana Arnado. So let's begin with our first question. What is the Cavite Mutiny?
The Cavite Mutiny of 1872 was an uprising by Filipino military personnel and laborers at Fort San Felipe, the Spanish arsenal in Cavite on January 20th, 1872.
So arsenal is the place where the collection of weapons of Spaniards were kept. So next question is, who was Dr. Trinidad Hermenegildo Pardo de Tavera? And what was the interpretation of the Cavite Mutiny?
The Hermenegildo Pardo de Tavera was a Filipino scholar and researcher who presented the Filipino perspective of the Cavite Mutiny. He viewed it as a response to injustices suffered by Filipino soldiers and laborers due to policies introduced by Governor General Esperdo.
So before we proceed, Rafael Esquerdo Gutierrez was the Governor General who reigned the Philippines during the Spanish colonization. So moving on to the next question, according to Pardo de Tavera, what were the grievances of the Filipino soldiers and laborers in the arsenal?
Pardo de Tavera argued that the grievances included the revocation of privileges such as exemption from taxes, forced labor or as what we call polo y servicio, and the prohibition of establishing a school of arts and trades for Filipinos.
Right. Those privileges were so much enjoyed by the Filipino soldiers and laborers, but Izquierdo abolished those privileges. That was the time the Filipinos started to be dissatisfied with the colonizers. For the next question, how did Pardo de Tavera attribute blame for the Cavite Mutiny?
Pardo de Tavera blamed Governor General Izquierdo's policies, which he viewed as cold-blooded, for causing dissatisfaction among the Filipino soldiers and laborers leading to the mutiny.
Well said. Now for the next question, what event happened on January 20th, 1872?
On January 20, 1872, there are about 200 Filipino soldiers and laborers at Fort San Felipe in Cavite to initiate a national uprising, but sadly, they failed to attack the mutiny. The mutiny was swiftly suppressed by the Spanish forces and many participants were executed.
That event is a major factor in awakening nationalism among the Filipinos. So now, for the next question, who were Gomburza and how were they connected to the Cavite Mutiny?
Gomburza is a collective name of the three press who were Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Santos Zamora, that are accused as the mastermind of the Cavite Mutiny. They were a prominent Filipino priest charged with treason and sedition.
The Spanish clergy connected the priests to the mutiny as part of the movement of secular priests who desired to have their own parishes. So thank you, Ms. Arnado, for that witty answers. Now let's hear from Ms. Vanessa for the perspective of the Spaniards. So, hello, Miss Vanessa. So, here's your first Spanish perspective on the 1872 Cavite Mutiny as interpreted by Jose Montero y Vidal.
Jose Montero y Vidal is a Spanish historian who interpreted that the mutiny was an attempt to remove and overthrow Spanish colonizers in the Philippines. They mentioned that the mutiny was powered by a group of native clergy.
So what are the alleged preconcerted signal among the conspirators of Manila in Cavite?
The district of Sampaloc celebrated a feast of the Virgin of Loreto with the usual fireworks displays. Those in Cavite mistook the fireworks as the sign of an attack. And just like what agreed upon, the 200 men headed by Sergeant La Madrid launched an attack targeting Spanish officers at sight and seized the arsenal.
So what was the reaction of Izquierdo before the attack?
When the news reached in the iron-fisted Governor Izquierdo, he readily ordered the reinforcement of the Spanish forces in Cavite to quell the revolt. The revolution was easily crushed when the expected reinforcement from Manila did not come ashore. Major instigators, including Sergeant La Madrid, were killed in the battle.
So what were the consequences of the mutiny for the Filipinos and leaders according to the Spanish perspective?
The consequences of the Cavite mutiny is the Filipino leaders were sentenced and arrested, and that leads to execution of Gomburza.
So it has been said that the execution of Gomburza was witnessed by the young Jose Rizal. So next is, how were the Gomburza executed and what message did it send to the Filipino people?
The Gomburza were executed using a garrote that strangled them to death. The execution will serve a threat or warning to the Filipino people and still fear to them to that they may never commit such acts again.
So garrote was a way of strangulation. The three priests were stripped of their albs. After that, with chained hands and feet, they were brought to their cells after their sentence. So thank you for that, Miss Vanessa. Of 1872 was far-reaching consequences that extended beyond its immediate aftermath. Following the mutiny, three Filipino priests known as Gomburza, Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, Jacinto Zamora were falsely implicated and executed by Spanish authorities. The execution of Gomburza deeply influenced the Philippine national hero, Jose Rizal, who witnessed the event as a young student in Manila. It served as a catalyst for Rizal's advocacy for reforms and inspired him to write El Filibusterismo, a novel that critiques Spanish oppression and corruption in the Philippines. The Cavite Mutiny, coupled with other grievances, contributed to the build-up of tensions that eventually erupted into the Philippine Revolution of 1896. The execution of Gomburza, the injustices experienced by Filipinos under Spanish colonial rule, and the desire of the independence all played significant roles in motivating Filipinos to rise up against Spanish authority. There you have it, folks. Our discussion of the Cavite Mutiny wouldn't have been possible without our two insightful participants. Until next time, keep exploring and learning. Bye! Ano,